realistically transporting $40,000 worth of product for $150 does not make sense.
Delivery was designed to fail in Massachusetts. 2 driver rules, thin margins, and zero awareness. He built one of the few operations that actually made it work.
Home delivery is a model like it can't work with 2 drivers. Like it just financially the math doesn't make sense.
I'm Jason Raposa. After 25 years in tech and cannabis, I host High Functioning to show it actually works. Today's guest is Chris Fevry, CEO and co-founder of third-party transporter Eurogreen Package and consumer delivery business tr.ee. He co-founded one of the oldest operating delivery and transport businesses in the state, with thousands of completed deliveries and profitable operations on both sides of the license. We get into why delivery models fail, how many retail licenses Massachusetts can actually support, and what we got right and wrong about delivery regulation. Say there's 10, 1 through 10, where are you?
We're in the top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah.
This is Real Strategy Over Hype. Let's dive in. Shoe, weight, hope. Hard pass. Pocket uses micro and nano-emulsification, so effects show up in about a quarter hour. It's the gummy experience without the gummy lag. Pocket your chill and keep moving.
My name is Chris Fevry, CEO and co-founder of Eurogreen Package and tr.ee. We are a cannabis third-party transporter here in Massachusetts and also a delivery operator. So third-party transportation under the brand Eurogreen Package and delivery operator, which delivering to consumers under the brand tr.ee.
Yeah, those are 2 very distinct things, and I think some people definitely get that confused.
Yeah.
So Eurogreen Package is a third-party transporter,
Yes.
meaning that you can pick up packages, say, even from our facility and deliver them to a retailer.
Exactly. Yep.
And then tr.ee is a delivery operator that delivers directly to consumers.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. And so, like, first and foremost, how's delivery going?
Delivery has had its challenges. Yeah. I think with the 2 driver rule going away was a really big thing. I think we would have seen a lot more delivery companies go under if that didn't occur. But I think overall delivery is growing. It's I think it's a fast growing segment of the Massachusetts market, and overall I think it's going better than it was.
Even last year. Right. Yeah, because there was a lot of people that were really struggling with these things. And it's funny because I think there were groups that were coming out against delivery. Remember all the retailers? They were like, no delivery.
Yeah.
Then delivery launches, and it's kind of like, okay, now there's some real work that has to happen.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, like what's the current state of delivery today? Is it something that you can break even with? Is it something that like you feel is it's still kind of in the negative and hope to be soon in the positive? Like in general, is it even a business model that's worth even pursuing?
Yeah, I think with the current Massachusetts market, I think the biggest issue that delivery companies have is awareness. Delivery is projected to do about 21 million in total in 2025 compared to the retail is like what 200. No, I think
that's $1 billion.
It's $1 billion. Yeah,
it's like
for this specific year. Yeah. So if you look at the percentage wise, delivery is a really small segment of the market. I think that's mostly to do with awareness. People are not aware that they can get delivery. Right. So you've seen year over year the delivery market continue to grow. I think that's kind of there's a lot more growth that needs to occur. But I do think it is a model that the delivery operator license. I think that it is a model that can work under the right conditions. I think we've seen obviously with delivery companies outside of Boston struggle, like in areas like Western Mass or the Cape, like those delivery companies really have not done well. But the delivery companies in Boston I think are fairly strong, and do
you cover Boston?
Yeah, we cover Boston.
High Functioning isn't your average cannabis podcast. It's where business, wellness, and culture collide with honest convos from people actually doing the work. Tap in at High Functioning Show and hit subscribe so you don't miss a drop. Now, back to the episode. What do your coverage right now look like?
I were east of Natick.
East of Natick.
So, okay. Cambridge, Waltham, Somerville, Newton, Boston.
How many trucks you got? Vans, or what do you, is it cars, vans? What do you usually do?
Yeah, for home delivery, it's vans. For business transfers, it's trucks.
Yeah.
So you have like the Nissan Rogues and smaller vans for home delivery, and then you have like the Ford Transit Connects for the BP.
How many you got?
How many do we have?
Yeah, for the
so I wouldn't want to say
Giving away too much here? Come on.
But I mean, we have we have over 15 vans, so we
Oh, wow.
But again, we've been operating, and we're the oldest operating home delivery company, so we have some vehicles from when we first started in 2021.
But that was under the courier.
That was on a courier,
Right.
yeah.
So let's actually break that down really quickly for the audience. Courier versus the delivery operator.
Oh, this is a fun one. So the courier license is basically you're partnering with a retailer.
Mm-hmm.
So you are delivering on behalf of a retail location. So one of the first courier partnerships that we had, and the longest standing one, was one with Neta.
Right.
Basically,
Yeah.
So we basically picked up from their Brookline location and delivered to customers around in the Brookline area. The delivery operator license is different, where you actually buy the product wholesale and then you sell directly to the customer.
And you warehouse that product. So you buy it, you have it somewhere, and I'm assuming is it Newton or Natick?
Natick.
Yeah, Natick, it's right. So in Natick, you have a warehouse where you store all the products that you purchase, including ours.
Yep.
And then as deliveries come in, then you kind of deliver them. Whereas the original model, the courier model, is like, it was a one-off, like, hey, we're getting a delivery, and you kind of just get it from the store. Kind of like DoorDash at that point.
Exactly.
To McDonald's. It's just like you're DoorDash in that sense, where you just go pick it up and then deliver it.
Yeah.
Got it. And so that model was kind of like not great, or how did it end up?
Well, if you look at the data, I mean, there's, I think less than 10 retail locations that right now are partnered with couriers out of how many odd retailers you have. And
400 retailers are partnered.
Yeah. So most people are not offering delivery with a courier, but that's mostly because it doesn't make sense cost wise.
Right.
Because how much, if you're looking at the average basket of like $50, the retailer obviously has to take, half of that for products, so on and so forth. What's left for the courier to cover gas, insurance, staff, labor, you're talking, there's $20-$25, then okay, the retailer's going to keep some because they generated the order. So maybe the courier's left for like 10-15. So unless you're doing high volume,
right, it works.
It works. Exactly. And I think also too, initially when we started, what we saw with a lot of retailers, people were excited about delivery. They thought delivery was going to be like,
the next big thing.
The next big thing. Yeah. And that wasn't the case. And the retailers lost money. And then you kind of get to the point where, okay, well, we have to shut down delivery because we're losing money on delivery. Yeah,
because sometimes we even consider not delivery, but we even consider third-party transport ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not third-party, but like our own internal transport.
Yeah.
But every time we run the numbers, anytime you're putting cannabis in a van or whatever and driving it somewhere, it is so expensive to do.
Yeah.
You have to have, especially if you're doing your own transport, there's the 2 drivers rule still, right?
Yeah.
Or is there a cutoff? Like, isn't it like $5,000 and $10,000?
No, it's 2 driver rules for transportation.
For transportation, regardless, you always have to have 2 driver rule.
Yeah.
The 1 driver rule is really for delivery couriers.
Yes, and they did approve it, I'm pretty sure, for labs as well.
Okay. So, or delivery operators, I should say, and labs, they could have how much product? Up to $10,000 worth of product or something like that? I can't remember.
No, couriers and delivery operators can hold up to $10,000 worth of product. I think that might have been cut down when it went down to 1 driver. The fact of the matter is, delivery operators are never carrying anywhere near $5,000 worth of product.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's
Like, what's a big order?
The big order is like 300 and change.
$300 orders.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a nice order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does everything still move through cash in that sense, or
no? It's there's 3 methods of payments. You have debit card, Dutchy Pay, or one of those apps like Blaze has one, and then you have cash. Yeah.
So do you have walk me through the process. So someone places an order on the Driss website. What happens?
Yeah. So from there, goes through Dutchy, right? Goes, shows up to the coordinator team. They at that point package your order, and then based on your delivery window, they then assign it to a driver.
Okay. And so the driver then gets assigned to, maybe it's somewhere in Natick, it's local.
Yeah.
So that person, is there a person packing 1 order, 3 orders?
Oh, it's multiple orders.
Okay.
They order by window. So you have like 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, and so on and so forth.
And that's by regulation, right? Because you can't necessarily guarantee you're going to be there within the specific time, right?
I mean, you can do on demand. Like there's things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was, because I always looked at that as a security thing, where there was like, well, we don't want somebody to get robbed or something, like a delivery guy to get robbed, because if they're always showing up at 10 o'clock in the morning in this one spot, a thief could be like, oh, they're always here at 10 o'clock or whatever, right?
Yeah, well, the vehicle
That was the fear, anyways. I think.
Yeah, that was. I mean, yeah, that was. In the regs, they do have some language around randomized routes. Delivery by nature is randomized because
Yeah.
there's so many different people who live at so many different locations.
Right.
So order it.
It's random.
It's random. Yeah. Yeah. So, that randomized portion just happens naturally.
Okay, so there's nothing extra you have to do in that case,
Extra sense of
like to further randomize it, or once they have. So does the consumer have the option of a delivery window themselves?
Yeah,
they say like 10
pick
to 2 or whatever, 10 to noon.
Yeah.
So they pick the window, order gets picked, it gets into some kind of holding area. Driver's like, all right, I got these, 6 orders, whatever, packs them into the van. Is there like a manifest with that? Like, because I know in third-party transport, it's like there's always manifests going around.
Yeah, there's in the last update to the regs before this one with social consumption, they did make some updates to allow for e-manifest. So there's like e-signature options that are available that people have implemented.
And so once it gets on the truck, they're going out in their route. Is there any like special routing software that you guys use or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, most delivery companies at this point use OnFleet. It's very interesting. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced it with the space in terms of tooling. It's kind of enclosed. Like everyone, a lot of people use Dutchie because Dutchie integrates with everything and is kind of the dominant player. But we use Dutchie and OnFleet. Those are some of the top softwares in the space.
And so OnFleet will kind of like say like, here's the optimal route.
Yeah,
put the addresses in or whatever, and the delivery driver. And so there was another thing that was always with delivery was with transport. And because I know transport well, I don't know anything about delivery, which is why I'm asking all these questions.
Yeah.
I know in transport, I think the rule just has loosened up a lot. But back in the day, it was every 20 minutes you had to phone home to headquarters to dispatch to be like, hey, that's the road and stuff like that. Oh, it's still like
that still exists for both licenses.
Does it really? I thought you just had to like phone home when you were kind of like at the spot.
No, every 30 minutes.
Every 30 minutes, you have to call dispatch. And you got to be like...
You can send a text.
Oh, you can text.
Or Slack. It doesn't have to be a call, but every 30 minutes, there has to be some...
So then you're logging it on the back end.
Yeah.
Okay, here's every 30 minute situation.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah. Even in delivery.
Yeah, even on home delivery.
Okay, so home delivery, there's one driver. So does the driver like pull over and be like, hey,
Because home delivery has more frequent stops, the stops, they
consider
stops they visit. Yeah, when they stop, they then send a check and then they go from there.
Okay, so when you get a delivery operator, a person who's doing the delivery, one person on your staff goes to their first stop, is there like extra security things that they do? Do they like check out the rear view mirror and check the cameras and be like, all right, there's no one here?
Yeah.
And then then walk out of the, like, is there anything extra that they do typically? Or is it just like, hey, I'm here. And they like phone the person or text them like,
yeah.
Here.
So they're going to call 10 to 15 minutes in advance. Just letting the customer know, hey, we're on our way. And then also OnFleet sends notification with tracking. So some customers are able to track,
where the packages come in.
Yeah, where their package is and so on and so forth. Beyond that, they send a signal when they arrive. They send a signal when they depart, and then that's pretty much the process. And then they turn their body camera on and do the whole thing.
So there is body cameras involved as well
for home delivery. Yes, for transportation, no.
Okay, so on the camera side, have there been any instances where you had to like review footage?
Yeah, there's been instances that come up.
What happens typically?
It's really a rare situation. It's like either a customer complaint or just things that we want to investigate. But we use it as a way to kind of audit the drivers. Hey, how are these customer interactions going?
Well, it's customer service at that point too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just that's kind of the reason we would review footage.
Is there do you guys have like customer service training and all the other stuff? I'm sure you guys. Yeah,
we have a support team that takes calls. We also have a live chat as well, so people go in, they can talk directly with our support team. The drivers are obviously trained on a script, and obviously if they need any type of assistance, they would then escalate that to the support team and the coordinators as well.
So then the person gets their order.
Yeah.
They show their ID, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they show their ID.
Do they pay right then and there, or did they already pay through?
Well, if they use Dutchie Pay, they would have paid in advance, and so the driver would then send a signal to the support team saying, "Hey, can this be processed?" And that transaction is processed virtually. If the customer's paying with debit card, then they'll just hand over the card.
There's a scanner kind of thing.
Yeah, we have a terminal that has a 4G 4G capabilities, so they would just tap and pay or whatever, and then but if they have to do cash, they'll just give exact cash.
Does anybody ever come up to the drivers and be like, and some like one of their friends be like, "Hey, can I order something real quick?"
No.
No.
then that's not maybe happened one time, but it's just,
Well, people don't know maybe.
Yeah.
They're just ignorant about the fact that like you can't just do it like that. You have to like go to the website and like order it.
exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of crazy stuff do you see on the roads?
Crazy stuff. I mean, you meet all types of people that are doing delivery. I think one of the funniest stories I've heard was someone coming out in like a green costume, and then
And that spooked the driver.
Yeah. I mean, you meet all types of people that are doing delivery, old, young. It's very, very fascinating. I think well, so our driver's obviously checking the IDs.
Yeah.
And one time, one driver said, "Hey, this person has a fake ID," and the person was they were they looked 21, but the ID clearly looked like the person's dad. It said 19, but
67 birth
like that. And the driver's like, "Hey, this is not you," and then that transaction obviously got canceled, and we moved on.
And did they own it? They were like, "You got me," and they walked away, kind of thing, or did they put up a fight at all? Be like, "Dude, that's me."
No, they say, "Hey, this is me," but again, we use our discretion, and obviously that's not you.
Yeah, it's up to your discretion, right? As the driver, and I guess that comes to training again. You have to train these people to be like. And I know that when we do RVT, responsible vendor training, we get the triangle, the face triangle. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. Where you have to be able to look at the ID,
the face, eyes,
stuff like that. They also do sell like readers for IDs also to confirm there's even a real ID, whether it's somebody else's or not. Who knows? But like, I know
heard some of the fakes, like they're so good they scan. So
wow, they even scan them. Yeah. Wow,
but fake ID is not. We've done hundreds of thousands of deliveries, not an issue.
Yeah, totally.
Like, when percentage wise is like 0.01%. Yeah. Most deliveries.
I'm not trying to villainize the delivery. Anyway, it's more of just the fact that like I think this is such an interesting business model.
Yeah,
that you guys fought really hard for ultimately, because it was not an easy battle to go from courier to operator.
No,
right? That was just like, it's almost felt from the regulators, they were kind of just like, you should be happy that we got courier. Yeah. Like it felt like you should be happy. Why are you fighting about this operator thing? Why do you have to warehouse things? You know what I mean?
I mean, I would say at the time, the commission was definitely very, I would say, open to hearing what delivery operator license. And I'm really glad that license came into existence, because, I mean, our courier license went to $0 in revenue. Because what happened was, with the 2-driver rule, again, no couriers and retailers could really make partnerships.
Yeah.
And so, if everyone's we would have a much, the delivery market would look much different if we just had the courier. Really what would have happened was then people would have been more so forced to have to basically sell their license or do those incognito deals where they're like
behind the scenes,
large operators and control the license, and like, because it was not sustainable. If you look at some couriers too, they're not necessarily fully independent. They're attached to a larger company, because that larger company may be funding or getting
subsidizing,
because they can't survive on their own.
Right, exactly. Yeah. What speaking of that, like, since there are these two companies, Driss and European Package, do you have business partners, investors? Like, there's two companies. Do they?
There's actually all one company.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's the company?
Driss Corporation.
What is it?
Driss Corporation.
Driss Corporation.
Yeah.
Driss Corporation. So Driss Corporation owns European Package also.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So in that one corporation, did you take investors at one point?
Yeah.
Or, okay. So what's the cap table look like? Like friends and family?
Mostly friends and family.
Yeah, okay. That's
friends and family.
Are you still majority owner? I'm assuming you are, because
no, I'm not. Actually, the majority owner is Dari, my business partner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's also social equity as well. And then I'm the second owner, and then we have friends and families as minor investors.
How was it? Was it hard to convince them early that this was a thing?
Yes and no. I think in terms of our entrepreneurial journeys, initially it was very, very tough when there was no delivery license. And our first investor, he's like, "Hey, I believe in you," and gave us the first tranche of money, and that kind of set the sales.
Because he believed in you guys.
And yes, yeah. And once we had the license and we were generating revenue, then those conversations really evolved from like, "Hey, this is an idea," to "Hey, this is a company that's operating, that generates revenue," and so on and so forth. So it got easier over time, but then, you know, we also had our challenges too, where, you know, again, the courier license, again, wasn't doing well. And then that's part of the reason why it pushed us to expand to transportation. Because we saw the courier license, okay, well, retailers can't really make these partnerships. If we stay in this license class, just staying as a courier, we'll be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna go out of business.
And as we say, awkward conversations with friends and family. Be like, sorry, your money's gone.
Yeah. And for us, you know, we've always been kind of resilient as an organization to, you know, overcome these challenges and figure things out. And, you know, getting into transportation, I think we were the fourth transporter to come to market. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I mean, you probably remember that time where there wasn't enough third-party transporters, and those like hard. Exactly.
And there's getting the fees were it was expensive.
Oh yeah, it was like really expensive. $450 a drop. It was,
and you know, when you're starting out, speaking as a brand, when you're starting out, you're manufacturing your product. You got your COGS dialed in. You're like, okay, it costs us $10 to make it, and we're selling it for like $15. Okay, there's, you know, good margin in there for now. We'll be okay. And then we're like, okay, so out of that $15 that we're selling it for wholesale, you know, we get like a $2,000 order. This is amazing. And then the bill for the transport just to deliver it is almost $500, something like that. It's like, oh, there's 25% of our revenue right there. Never mind our COGS. I mean, all of a sudden we're like, okay, our minimum order might have to go up a little bit, you know? Our minimum order technically is still, I think it's $2,000.
There's $2,000.
Yeah. So we're still able to do it. But even at the current rates, which is around 150, that's still almost 10% of the revenue, right?
Yeah. And I think it's
7.5%. Is that what it comes out to? 7.5% of the revenue or of that transaction is just delivery fees.
Yeah. But I would say, is your average order across all partners 2,000?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which is your average order?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd have to ask the team for a more precise number, but I would say it's probably around 6,000.
Okay. So at that point, with the 150,
that's not bad. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's even justified.
Most customers are not ordering
the minimum.
To be honest, it's the delivery operators that have the smaller orders because they're not doing
like a $50 order or whatever. What's your minimum actually?
Our minimum?
Yeah, for a delivery.
For $50.
Yeah.
That's the minimum. There's a small delivery fee, and then if you get to like $70, you get free delivery.
Okay.
Yeah. But like on the wholesale side is interesting. Well, the wholesale transportation market is I think that market has gone through a lot of upheaval. Because I mean, remember, Eagle Eye going out of business. Eagle Eye, they were offering, I think with the transportation market, you saw with the cultivators, when the cultivators had the super high prices and they came crashing down, then you had the $5 ace.
Right.
And then people were just slinging product for super low prices. I think that happened with transportation, where the transportation market, everyone's seeking the lowest price.
Yeah.
Eagle Eye at the time, you know, $99 transports. So some people know. Now with Eagle Eye, but some companies I heard were getting like transports for $50.
Wow.
So then
I never saw it that low.
Yeah. I mean, so those things kind of create an imbalance in the market where, you know, realistically transporting $40,000 worth of product for $150 does not make sense.
No.
Right? $6,000 worth of product at $150, that's more okay.
That's more in range.
Exactly. So I think, but again, there's only 4 third-party transporters.
Is there 4 right now still?
Us. Yeah, 4.
There's 4 third-party transporters servicing the entire state.
Yeah.
That's wild.
A lot of people have their own cars, though.
Not everybody. Like, we don't. But that's why we're trying to justify it. So we're like, okay, if we were to do our own transport as a brand, the numbers we always throw around is, you know, and sometimes I try to like cheapskate and be like, oh, we could just use somebody for dispatch who already works here. But that's hard too, because you're talking about the scheduling, the manifests, everything that has to get, all the transactional stuff, administrative stuff that still has to happen. You have to have a full-time dispatcher long.
Yeah.
So and then you have to have 2 drivers, right? So you get 2 drivers and a dispatcher, 3 full-time employees. Say it's like $60K each or something like that, $180,000.
You start seeing, you start seeing where it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, $180,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right. And then on top of that, you have to buy the van because you have to outfit it with security measures.
Yep.
I don't think a company will lease you a van and you rip it apart. You know what I mean? I think you kind of have to buy it, right?
Yeah.
So you buy a van, that's another, $50,000, and then you outfit it. So we're talking about $230,000, $240,000, $250,000, and then there's administrative paperwork and stuff like that you have to do on top of everything just to even get to prove to the CCC that you could actually do this.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're talking about $250,000. in first year cost and ongoing costs of $180,000+.
And me.
And I forgot maintenance and gas.
Yeah.
Now we're going to P Town.
Insurance. Yeah.
And then we're going to Western Mass. You know what I mean? We're going to like Great Barrington or whatever. And you're on the road. And then if somebody calls out sick, what do you do? Right. So now we're talking about like, now we can't do transport that day. You know what I mean?
Wait, that's when you hire the other person, the other driver.
Exactly.
So you have 3 drivers now.
Right. So now you got 3 drivers. Right. So now your payroll alone is $240,000 plus a year at $60K each. So the way I look at it is we just ran the numbers. I really wish I could remember the number now. We probably spent $150,000 in transport this year. Or about 1,000 deliveries, we'll say. Somewhere it's over 1,000, but it's 1,000, $150,000 in deliveries. Or we could pay $300,000 in the first year cost and own it ourselves. And then we have to take on the headache and the liability with all that too.
Yeah.
So that's another whole thing, right? It's just like, do I want that headache on top of everything else we're trying to do? In reality, we're a brand. We want to focus on growing our brand. We don't really care about like that. We're not trying to build a transport business here. You know what I mean? Now, at some point, at what point does that make sense for us? I still don't know if it ever will make sense for us, So those are the kind of numbers that I always throw around.
Yeah.
And, we literally just ran the numbers the other day because we were trying to like, are we there yet? And it's like, we're not really there. Maybe if we're doing like 200 transactions a year, 2,000.
But honestly, the headache.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your transmission blows, flat tire. Look, it's interesting because we work with brands where they didn't have their trucks and they got their trucks and then their trucks then had issues. The transmission blows.
They calling you back.
Calling our fire. And they call us back and then we help them out and we kind of go through that. And, I don't think, again, unless you have like 5 different brands and running,
vertically integrated and all those other things. And you already have the vertical integration part of it. So you also add transport to it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't see it being feasible in the short term, especially for us, because we want to focus on building our brand. We don't really care about that's just busy work for us. We don't want to start our business model. But getting back to the home delivery side, you said 15. What percentage of revenue does each one bring in? Is it like 50-50?
Transport right now it's 50-50.
Oh, interesting.
Transportation actually was beating home delivery for a long time, but now it's closer to 50-50.
And what do you attribute the growth in home delivery?
Our delivery operator license has only been operating for a year and change compared to the transportation license which got in 2022. So transportation has much more time to grow. Our delivery operator, we're still maturing and also, came in different stages of the market. Like courier, we came in, first movers advantage. We were the first to get the license there. Transportation, we were number 4. And then delivery operator, I think we started as like number 7.
Yeah.
Number 7 or 8, right? And so with the growth on the delivery operator side, I think is us maturing as a business.
So if you were to get a second location, if you're planning on a second location, you have to blow up your spot right now. If you're looking for a second kind of area, where would you go? Further closer to Boston? Would you go Western Mass?
I would 100% get closer to Boston.
That's just where all the deliveries happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the concentration of people, I guess.
Higher median income. They're more used to DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. That's more the culture versus Western Mass. You have a ton of stores, so it's not really an inconvenience. Like you're only going 5 minutes down the road to get to a store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you're on the way home from work.
Or Boston, you have to find parking. It's more of a hassle. Like, oh, it's traffic. Oh, now to go 2 miles, it takes 30 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is your strategy for growth from delivery right now then?
Yeah, the strategy for growth is, not to give too much away, but we try to focus on different customer acquisition funnels. So you have the Leafly, the Weed Maps, those funnels. So maximizing those funnels is one of our focuses, taking a look at our SEO, and just different marketing strategies that we're always trying to measure the ROI. Like if we put $1,000 in marketing dollars here, does this actually generate orders? And so that's a big focus for us. And so we've just been trying different things to continue to grow it. And obviously focus on the customer experience, because when someone orders, they have a good experience, then they order again.
Right. I think because Weed Maps will call me occasionally, right? Leafly, I don't really hear too much from. It's weird because I think Weed Maps has kind of taken a hit a little bit on traffic. And I don't know the relative sizes anymore, but weed maps used to be like way bigger than Leafly. But as far as like just raw traffic, what I see from outside your perspective, but when weed maps calls me, I'm like, I'm a brand. I don't have access to the point of sale.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's converting. So for me, from my perspective, I'm kind of like, the closer you can get to the actual transaction, I'll spend any money with you.
Yeah.
Right now we spend $0 with weed maps because we just think it's, putting money on fire right now if we try to do anything on weed maps.
Yeah.
We don't own the point of sale, whereas you do.
Yeah.
So you see transactions come through from that.
So I spend X dollars, I get X dollars back. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or as a brand, you're kind of just.
I wonder if there's a partnership there.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could spend money in weed maps
to drive sales.
to get you delivery orders. And then we can at least see they purchased Good Vibes in your store kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like almost like you open up the data to us to be like, oh yeah, these are converting and you provide us those numbers. Then we will feel very comfortable spending money on weed maps. But today we just don't because we'll spend it on Dutchie or Jane or something like that because they have access to the point of sale.
Yeah.
Whereas weed maps is still that one level removed and it's up to the dispensary of delivery operators to actually like know their numbers because they have access to the point of sale.
Yeah. Now, when you say you're spending it with Dutchie or Jane, how does that work?
So they will just put in like sponsored like products, whatever. Okay. So it's like inline menu assets and stuff like that on the online stores. So if you go to maybe even your Dutchie, you'll see like Good Vibes pop up as a sponsored kind of like thing in there. It is pricey, but we have seen some positive returns. So we've been spending a little bit of money there.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not a strategy I would recommend in the early days. Because like there's different strategies at different stages of growth. We're at the stage where we can spend a little bit of money in media because we have a little bit of profitability.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like when you're negative, like spending media dollars is really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like, especially on something like a weed maps, because you're like, am I even going to get this money back?
Yeah.
Because everything is slow, especially in the brand side, because we might put $1,000 into Jane this month, but we may not get paid 60 days later from the person who has that inventory. You know what I mean? So it's like, we don't know.
It's also that issue, yeah.
Exactly. So it's like some people pay us COD because we give a discount on COD.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people are like net 30 plus because they're just like, we're all, we have a person dedicated to collections at this point.
Yeah.
But it is one of those situations where it really is like, if we spend money today, we may not see that money for 60 days, even though, it's a successful campaign. Yeah. That's negative cash flow to me. It's like we're putting out money first before we get the money back.
Putting out money and selling products.
And the product's gone too. Yeah. The product's being enjoyed. So yeah, for us, it doesn't 100% make sense to do something at weed maps. But since we have access to the point of sale of Dutchie and Jane, it generally makes sense for us. Are you guys profitable?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If you're into cannabis, entrepreneurship, or just like hearing from people who actually build things, check out High Functioning. It's real talk with founders, operators, and big thinkers. No fluff, just game. New episodes drop every Friday, and you can subscribe and listen at highfunctioning.show. All right, let's get back to the show. We've known each other for quite a bit. I know how hard it's been for years.
It's been massive upheaval, but I said especially more so as a reset. But with the delivery operator license, has been a big help.
Is there something specific that you'd like to see changed in the delivery operator license? You could say transport too, but I'm really focused on delivery operator. Is there anything else, like one last thing that the CCC has to enact?
I think delivery to hotels. I think, you can't imagine how many orders we cancel that are at hotels.
Because they're just like, hey, I'm here for the weekend. I'm in Boston.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy my time.
It was like 5 yesterday.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah. So it's that's one of the big things that could change delivery to no towns. Like that got passed, not passed, but
that's in process.
That's in process. Yeah, with the House and Senate.
Yeah, because even this is in no town. Like you can't, supposed to deliver to this town even.
Exactly.
And it's just like, but why? You know what I mean? Like you don't allow retail, so therefore by default they didn't allow delivery.
Yeah,
including delivery to the people here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, those are the big things. I think everything else is. I mean, if body cameras are optional.
Oh, body cameras, right?
If they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it does freak out some customers, but 99% of customers don't.
But is that something you'd keep just for safety purposes, anyways? Maybe.
Yeah, I the thing is delivery safe? Delivery is not dangerous. No, I mean, it's DoorDash.
Well, I mean,
It's DoorDash. Yeah.
But people are familiar with DoorDash. It's like, hey, here's my McRib. You know what I mean? Like, here's your cash or whatever. Or you already paid for it. Yeah.
Like the notion that delivery is dangerous. I mean, we've done a lot of deliveries, and the number of issues that occurs is super low.
Have there been any, like, not necessarily your company, but have you heard of stories where things have gone sideways at a delivery?
Yeah, like when in the debate of delivery, those things that did come up. Actually, those more issues that we saw on transport
Because they have such more products.
More product. Yeah, and I think when we're the debate around who goes to one driver, is like, well, hey, this group is transporting $100,000 worth of product. This group is transporting
$70.
yeah, whatever,
or like $350 between 5 orders.
Yeah. So which one would you prefer to keep at one driver? I think on the transportation side, you can argue that brands can pay more for transport versus home delivery. The basket size is not everyone's ordering $300 worth of flour.
Yeah.
So,
and I look at that and I think to myself, maybe delivery operator is almost the guinea pig for one driver, and then transport may eventually get around to it as kind of like things ease. In your transport, would you be in favor of one driver at some point or no?
No, I think 2 drivers, because sometimes this team is picking up 200 boxes, 300 boxes.
There.
To have that be done with one driver. And also I think on the transporter side, there's some insurances, because if it goes on to one driver, there's higher liability and so on and so forth. So I would say with the transport side, I wouldn't want to see much disruption on that, because realistically, you can make 2 drivers work for transportation. Home delivery is a model, like it can't work with 2 drivers. Like it just financially the math doesn't make sense.
Yeah. If you were to compare yourself to the other operators right now, kind of where are you in the hierarchy? Like how many delivery operators are there actually live?
I don't know the exact number. I think they want to say there's 8, 9. I could be completely wrong.
So say there's 10, 1 through 10. Where are you?
We're in the top 3.
Top 3. Yeah. Fantastic. Congrats, dude. That's exciting.
Yeah.
But you also work on other things. What is this logistics app?
Oh yeah. So that's we have a logistics. So on the transportation side, I mean, you probably have seen there's a lot of manual work, like sending a request or you're sending an email.
Yeah.
To log the request, that's you're maybe putting into Excel. You're building the manifest. You're putting that into a route optimization software.
Yep.
And so we got to the point where we said, well, transportation can't scale in this manual way. And also that you kind of have the whole thing around like brain. Is the word brain drains? Like if one staff member knows how to do this role and they do it really well, and then they leave, then your operations get affected.
Exactly.
And so we got to the point where we said, hey, we need to automate a lot, like some of the sending of the emails and notifications, like those things need to just be automated. And transportation needs to move to a more modern approach. Even the aspect of when FedEx and UPS delivers packages, they scan the boxes. Yeah. And transportation, no one's scanning boxes. Every single transporter
they're just counting, right?
Yeah, they're just putting boxes into a truck and then bring it to the next location. And so what we saw is like, hey, if something gets misdelivered or something gets if in the car, hey, this box moved to the side and the retailer, someone doesn't catch it, then you have an issue like, oh, where's this box? And then so for us, we've been very focused on like optimizing and trying to make things more efficient. And so, we built the YGP logistics app to just solve those problems. So now we have a portal. People go in, they put in their request by license number. Everything's tracked. So when the CCC comes and does an audit, you can say, hey, here's my manifest from September of 2024, for example. Right. And so you're able to easily pull that up. And then, even recently we launched the app version of it where drivers mobile app specific for our team so that people can scan the boxes upon pickup and drop off.
Oh, so you have a scanner.
They have a scanner on the phone.
To the app, the phone on the app.
Yes, that integrates with metric to say, hey, this transfer has these metric tags, scan the tags. So verify those tags are going onto the truck. And then we integrated e-signature portion as well, where now, hey, you're putting your departure mileage, your arrival mileage on the digital manifest because that was allowed in the last set of reg changes. Then now at this point, when we get to the dispensary, you're scanning the boxes off the truck, bring it to the store. So now the store knows, hey, like, because each store has a different intake process. So now the store is able to have their intake process be a little bit more efficient because they know, hey, I have all the boxes.
Right.
They basically sign digitally.
Mm-hmm.
It gets uploaded to the request in the platform. They could then the retailer sync with metric. The retailer can log in and see the manifest, and everything's all perfect.
Wow. Is this something that you're going to potentially scale outside of YGP or?
To be
As
honest,
like another on fleet, like a software company kind of stuff. And
I mean, it's funny because people have brought that up as like, hey, that's something that we could do. But, for us, like, we just want to solve the problem of like transportation should be much more efficient.
right.
If people are interested in the software, I mean, I think that's a conversation we can have. But I think for us, it's more about, hey, how can we make logistics and space much easier?
Who built this for you?
We have a dev team.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
You don't hear too many companies in cannabis have their own software team.
Yeah. This team's been with us for last 2.5 years, and they've done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So they can build apps. I'm sure they did the website and stuff like that too. For you.
Yeah, they did the website. We had some other groups do the design. Well, the European package website was done a while ago, but yeah, they do create websites and stuff like that.
Yeah, when I went to Dress the first time, I was like, this is fantastic. Because here's the menu. It's like, here's our products. Whereas like I go to some websites and it's like, you have to click around like 5 pages sometimes to be like, there's going to be a shop. Like you're scrolling down, where's the shop now button? Where's the shop now button?
Yeah.
And you click on it, it's like an intro to the menu. And then it's like, asks you a bunch of, then you get to that and then you finally get to the menu.
Yeah.
Where it was very refreshing when I went to your website. I was like, oh, it's literally here with the menu.
2 clicks.
Yeah.
Well, really one, but yeah.
One, yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely kudos to your software team for that one.
And our marketing team, they were the ones who
they're tuning it up, right?
Yeah.
So is that how you play with them? Like, is it like marketing really is the visual, like, here's what we want to see represented, and then the software team kind of brings it alive?
Yeah. So for our marketing team, that's actually, we work with an agency. It's actually run by one of my best friends from college. So she does SEO, billboards, websites, Instagram ads, Google ads, the whole nine. She has her team, and we work with them since 2020. And then the dev team focuses more on like the technical stuff, the back end, and make sure those pieces are working correctly.
Yeah, and so since you have that marketing team, then that's outsourced.
Yeah.
What percentage of your sales come from say like SEO versus like a Weed Maps Leafly? Like basically paid versus organic? Is it like 50-50 or is it like...
I would say it's more 50-50 now. I think when we first started, it was Weed Maps Leafly were very heavy, but I mean, we just got on the first page. I mean, I think now we're ranked 3rd for Cannabis Delivery Boston, right?
Nice.
So, but that took a while, like consistent SEO working. That we saw over a 6-month time span versus... So over time now we're seeing more on the SEO side.
Right.
But initially it was Leafly, Weed Maps, and those funnels.
Well, SEO is great for that though, because you don't have to pay for it either. So it's not you invest upfront on building the capital and the assets to be able to rank for these specific terms, that pays dividends long term.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Versus having to always be paying Weed Maps over and over again just to get your dollars in. Yeah. Are there any other tactics? I mean, word of mouth must be kind of big too.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Yeah. So word of mouth, do you do anything fun campaigns? Like giveaways you can't really do, right? So it's not like you can't be like, hey, everybody win like win something in order if you play store.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah. I mean, for us, we just...
Because you started the conversation actually with awareness.
Yeah.
Is your biggest issue.
Yeah.
I say the same thing. I say about us, I don't use the word awareness. It's another A word. I can't remember what it's called. I remember, I've said it so many times that I just don't remember right now, but it's awareness is kind of like the same idea of what I usually say.
Yeah.
Because we have the same issue, but we don't have a store, which is I still say that 95% of the adult consuming population has never heard of Good Vibes still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because nobody looks for tinctures ever. You know what I mean? We're so very, on your menu, it's tinctures is an option, but people are straight to flower, straight to pre-rolls, straight to concentrates, straight to edibles. But nobody's going oh, I want a tincture today. You know what I mean? Nobody says that.
Yeah.
So we have an awareness.
There's some customers that do, but
that's because they know to go to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've been trained to, which is almost like the word of mouth side of it. But at the end of the day, spending upfront on SEO will give you that long-term thing. But word of mouth is really where I was going. And then campaigns, because you're always limited. I mean, you were so limited in what we can actually say or do to get new customers.
Yeah.
So we had fun things.
We did a pizza festival. We sponsored a pizza festival.
Where was that? In Natick or Boston? Nice.
That went really well. That was a great time. And so that brought a lot of awareness as well. So it's just, you have the different tactics, different things that come up. We just have to try it, see how it goes, and just keep repeating.
Can you just go to a pizza fest and be like, hey, get it delivered tomorrow or something like that? Because you can kind of sell them right there. They want product in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of things like that are about building awareness. Because a lot of people at the Peace Festival didn't know a weed delivery service even existed.
So I think you have a similar issue to us, which is like nobody knows this stuff exists still.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, but that was really effective.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that has been brought up a few times in the pod, which is some of the biggest opportunities are not cannabis events.
Yeah.
They're just not. Like, and I'd like to see my friends sometimes. Like we go to a conference, I see you, I say, hey, what's up, Chris, whatever. But then, it's like, but I'm not making a sale there necessarily, you know what I mean? For customers, for specifically the consumers.
All right.
But like other events like Pride events or Pizza Fest or whatever it might be, like those are the things that I think a lot of brands should be showing up at.
Yeah.
Because then people find out about you, because we can't just be on we can't put like a Boston Globe, ad out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. You're exactly right. I think those consumer facing events, that's where like we need to be.
Is 2026 the year of delivery?
I think delivery is going to continue to do well. I think the delivery market is going to continue to grow. What I say is going to be the year of delivery. I think the cannabis market is going to be very interesting in 2026. I think in 2025 we saw a lot of companies like kind of go out of business and really kind of, not to say like the bottom of the market kind of like go out of business, but we kind of saw like operators that weren't doing well really simply go under. So I think 2026, I think more of that is going to continue to happen. But I think, we're going to continue to see the market just evolve and overall, hopefully do well. I think what's interesting is what's in the Senate and the House and how that's going to affect things. I really hope deverticalization happens in 2026 and social consumption.
Are you going into medical a little bit?
Oh, we would love to. I think anyone. Yeah.
I would manufacture if it was deverticalized. I've been saying this since literally 2020. I would have made a 100 milligram drink at this point.
Yeah.
I would have, because there are so many people who need that type of level of consumption, which is weird to say, but that's because maybe you're hearing this for the first time and you don't realize there are a lot of people out there who need 100 milligrams to make themselves just feel better or feel themselves again because of medical reason or whatever. And 100 milligrams might seem like a lot to some people, but take it from me, our 1,000 milligram products are our best selling products.
Yeah.
Like, not because people are going around and getting stoned and being crazy. It's because they just have a higher tolerance. They just need more. And I think Kristen Rogers actually from Libya said this really well, because I know she's always been trying to fight for like multi-serving beverages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You've got a 12-ounce drink and it has 5 milligrams in it. A lot of people might be okay with it, but there's so many more people who just need more.
Yeah.
So deverticalization, huge fan of. I can't wait to participate in the medical market.
Yeah, I think the medical market has been neglected, to be quite honest, over the last...
I hope we get some more people back in the medical market.
Yeah.
I actually let my card expire for a little bit because I was like, do I really need it? You know what I mean? And then I got it back because I actually, I did need to get some higher dose products for something. So like, I was like, let me just get my medical card again, not to pay the tax and all this other stuff, because technically I qualify for it. So I might as well just spend the money on the annual fee and stuff like that to do it.
Yeah.
So deverticalization, and some of the stuff that you already talked about for the delivery operators, such as going to hotels.
Yeah.
Like, where is that? What stage is it?
I don't think that's going to happen. It's
2036. Okay.
I don't think so.
What's the next kind of change you think that's going to happen?
I don't foresee delivery having many changes in the short term.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's things that can be done on the transportation side. Like, for example, just making intake faster for retailers. Because some retailers, what they'll do is they'll count every single product. And then the transportation team literally can't leave.
They're sitting there waiting.
They're sitting there. Yeah. So I think there's some efficiency that can be gained on that side of things. But I think really the biggest thing that not saved delivery, but made delivery a little bit more viable was that 2-drive rule going away.
Right.
But I think also at this point, the commission has with social consumption, that's going to be
I know. Do you have any plans in social consumption yet? Have you considered?
I mean, we would love to do social consumption.
Do you have a space currently for that, or you'd have to go somewhere else? Yeah, you have to open a separate facility.
I think for a while, it's looking more so to see what the regulations are going to be. But it has to be the right opportunity. I think, some members at the commission will call our company the guinea pigs of delivery. Being the first and seeing kind of market how it evolved. With social consumption, I would love to be very cautious.
Yeah. You want to be number 10 and
not even number 10, but definitely not,
number 1.
Yeah, no, I don't, because
that's all capital intensive thing.
Exactly.
And so it's a capital intensive kind of just to be in the industry, never mind trying to do something new like social consumption where you're bound to make some mistakes.
Yeah.
And, depending on investigators, you might get a different opinion about how something should have been done that may cost you $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in a rework in the social consumption laws that you're building. Yeah, I always like that wait and see. I don't necessarily need to be first in everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, let's see how this plays out,
What I think is a big benefit though is having the cannabis fund.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So I think there's a lot of people who are kind of misunderstood in that one. So social equity has a cannabis fund.
Yeah.
And social equity participants are able to get certain allocations towards it. I think, is it round 2 now that's just happened? Or is it round 3 that they're up getting people to submit for?
And this disclosure, I do sit on the Cannabis Social Equity Advisory Board.
Okay.
So I'm Treasurer Deborah Goldberg's appointee. So we advise the Office of Economic Development on like what programs should be created.
Mm-hmm.
We're not involved in the actual like
selection process. Yeah. So, and that was one of the things that it broke my heart because I know somebody who, and I won't mention any names on this one, but like I know somebody, social equity participant, that was really, they really needed the funding.
Yeah.
They were excluded. They got $0.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart where I saw other people get like $500,000. That was like, they don't really need that money. Because I know, like, I know a lot of people. So I'm just like, I kind of know like, maybe that person should have got it, but maybe that person should have got it kind of thing. But I feel bad because it's a third party that does the evaluation.
Yeah.
It's not the CCC. It's no committees that are doing it.
Well, they have an interim committee, but it's all merit based. So you clearly see the criteria.
Yeah.
So the Office of Economic Development did send an email to anyone who didn't get it, saying that they could reach out to understand more so as to why. I think some of the reasons are valid. But I always tell people, hey, you should reach out and have a conversation with them to know how to strengthen your application for the next round.
So as the next round started,
the next round, the application deadline was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so this episode isn't going to come out till January, I'm assuming. So this is December right now. And so yesterday was December 11th.
Yeah.
The date. And then, so but I feel like there has been a shrinkage of social equity operators, right? Because a lot of them went out.
Yeah, I want to say
not a lot, but
I want to say a lot. There's been a couple of social equity operators who've gone under, and it's really unfortunate. I think there's been discussions around expanding the zones and things of that nature, and
for the economic empowerment, the EE side of it. Yeah, because it's different areas. So the way the SEE works, it's based on like a potential like a previous arrest or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
But EE, economic empowerment, is based on the location.
SEE is also based on location as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess walk me through that one then. So based on the location of SE also, I thought it was just like, do you have to
it's like location, income. So there's a qualifying criteria for social equity. The issue with the program, or one of the issues, is it's on from my observation, it's on like there's only a certain time you can apply. It's not on a rolling basis. Mm-hmm. So one of the comments that, myself and some other advocates put in was saying, hey, the social equity program, you should be able to enroll on a rolling basis. Because you might not have heard about the social equity program until 2024. So then now you have to wait till 2025
to even get into this. Yeah.
And by that time, the market has shifted.
Right.
I think right now, especially when it comes to social equity, the market has really evolved where, you're not really opening new retail locations.
No. Especially not in Boston. No.
If you're not already in it, it's really tough to get in. And what are you gonna do? Right? You're gonna open next to Pure Oasis, Apex. You're not.
Really
the competition's gonna be
crazy. Or Ascend, because it's right across from TD Garden.
Yeah, it's like you're in.
It's tough.
Yeah, the market's saturated, and that's the point.
So, you did allude to other issues potentially in the social equity program. Anything else you wanted to highlight about
others?
You had mentioned that one of the things is
it's the rolling basis thing. I think is a big one. Yeah, I think they've talked about they were talking about expanding the zones. I think that's kind of dilute things, where you're kind of saying, hey, because the criteria that they use like focusing on like during a period of time where there was a high amount of arrest,
right?
And I think there's just.
Do you think it could dilute it too much if you keep on expanding the zones?
Yeah, I think it would do it too much.
Interesting. So what is this cannabis fund? I think the first round was it $50 million that was getting distributed or something crazy?
No, it's like 15% of the cannabis taxes go
15%?
Yeah, 15%. So there's about and don't quote me on these numbers, but about 26 million.
So 26 million, that was the first. Was that 2024's numbers or something like that?
I forget if the time, I think the first tranche was like 9 million or something like that. Because then the first round was an emergency grant.
Right.
So everyone kind of just got 50,000 support, because again, a lot of companies beyond just social equity companies were distressed. So that was that grant. Then the second round was a formal round of like $500,000, and the different tiers in this round is 300,000.
So there's $500,000 the last one. So that was the second one. The first one being an emergency, and then the second one being the 26 million. That was $500,000 up to $500,000. Not everybody got a full $500,000. Some people got somewhere.
Yeah, there's different tiers. Like you get like 250, 50,000,
and then this round is 300,000
for tier 4. Yeah.
Okay. Is that also there's different tiers inside the 300?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have different tiers. Like there's like small people who are in tier 4. They have commenced operations. They're operating. Then the lower tiers are for different license statuses.
But the top being 300.
Yeah.
As far as the grant itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that's going to continue every year.
Yeah.
And it's a percentage of the actual taxes that were generated. So for $26 million, not about to do public math right now. So I'm not going to get this totally twisted right now. But, it seems like there was obviously a lot of tax revenue that was being collected in order to put $26 million into that second round.
Yeah.
Now, in the third round, where did the 300,000 come from? I would imagine it'd go from $500,000 to 500,000, might go to 600,000.
Every year the fund gets replenished, but the fund was depleted in round 2. Practically.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So then all that money got distributed, and then they had to rebuild for the next tax, all the tax revenue, and it allocated a certain amount to it. I mean, it sounds like a great program because, we are collecting a ton of tax revenue.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Let's distribute it to people who can use it to continue to grow the market. I don't mind that at all, actually. I think the number is just weird to me, 300,000. I didn't realize it was only 300, but I mean, only
tier 4. I mean, the other tiers have their amounts as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then and is that per license or per individual or per company?
Now it's per social equity applicant.
So okay,
per company.
Oh, it's per company.
Like, for example, like you can't
because you have Daria, who is also Dari.
Yeah.
Dari, and then you are two separate SE qualified people.
I'm not SE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's majority owner.
Yeah.
She has the SE license, and so she's eligible for up to 300 because you have commence.
Yeah, because we as a company have to have its operation.
But not 600 because even though you have two different companies that are licensed.
It was all one corporation, but you went at like an SE applicant can't say, hey, I have two separate companies.
Give me 300 for each one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, because that's where I'm going with this. I'm like trying to figure out like for the audience to understand kind of like the qualifications.
Four companies and
exactly. He might have 4 companies. He's in Miami right now. Yeah. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very cool. And so, just really quickly as we start to wrap, I'm thinking more about the new stuff that's being kind of put out there, such as the license cap issue.
Mm-hmm.
Where's kind of like your stance on the license cap? I think the Senate now proposed 4 as opposed to going to 4, 5, 6. It's just like, hey, we'll go to 4.
Yeah, and
kind of feel it out. Is that okay for you, or are you just like
I really think there shouldn't be a license cap increase. I mean, okay, Jason, I think that you're a very astute business person. Yeah. The thing about Walmart. Mm-hmm. Walmart has economies of scale, which is why Walmart is powerful. Amazon has economies of scale, which is why Amazon is powerful. If you think you give one store 8 locations, let them get the delivery licenses too. Do you not think that one store is going to conquer the market?
Well, a store is still, you mean like as a company, not like a location.
No, they have 8 locations.
Right, if they have 8 locations.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is like, I feel there's been a lot of talk about like how people are already circumventing this 10% kind of ownership,
Yeah. But then now if we make a law, it's going to become more brazen.
Right. Because then it's now to the letter of the law.
Yeah.
How can I exploit this?
Yeah. And there's an argument like, hey, like the social equity companies need to get bailed out and like, or some people, they don't have an exit plan. Realistically, a business will sell if it's doing well.
Right.
You know, there's buyers in the market.
Right.
You know, but again, if you run your business and like, hey, you racked up like $1 million, $2 million in debt because you didn't run it well, and then now you want to,
and now they're asking for their money back.
Yeah. Then,
You know, you got to go out.
Yeah, you have to go through the natural evolution as a business. You know,
Right.
we've had our challenges as well. We raised money and we had to figure things out. And we even ran into a situation where we dealt with like a predatory loan that like, you know, it's a 30% interest rate that, well, we had to take it to stay alive, but we had to figure it out.
Right.
But I wouldn't say we need to sacrifice the entire market now for
a handful of companies.
That get bailed out because they didn't do things maybe the best way. I mean, and there's also market challenges too, where there's because cannabis is not really, you can't really go bankrupt. And so you have those challenges as well. But I think it's that's just the nature of the market, and that's the nature of entrepreneurship and capitalism. It's like, hey, you start a business, the business has a possibility of failing. With the cannabis market, it's interesting because you have obviously the people not paying their bills, and you have all these challenges that I wouldn't say are, you know, necessarily natural for an industry, but it's also part of the market evolution that
it is. I agree with you. It's market evolution because I think back in 2016 when it passed, everybody was just happy it passed.
Yeah.
And it was also kind of a surprise in a sense. Everybody's like, it passed. This is amazing. Because it was like 51.5% to like 48% or something like that passed, right?
Yeah.
It was not a clear and cut thing back then. Now it's much more clear cut. The sky hasn't fallen. We're you know what I mean? Like cannabis is okay. You know, it's not going to, you know, steal your children and all, you know, all kinds of
some people
stuff.
Still think so because you see what's happening.
The repeal side.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that in a second. But, you know, if we're talking about, you know, open markets though, or letting businesses its capitalist market, should there be no cap?
I think the goal, yeah. So if you think about open market principles, yeah, there should be no cap. The best company survives. But I think what we're trying to create as an industry that includes people that, you know, because people, some people are still in jail in some places for cannabis. So
right.
it's kind of like, hey, we want an open market, but there has to be some level of balance. And also we want things to say Massachusetts owned.
Right.
You know, but if
you want the money to stay here too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it circulates inside Massachusetts and we all can prosper together.
Exactly. So if you say, hey, you gotta let one company kind of go off the rails and have
this monopoly on money.
Because what's going to happen? Someone's going to open next to someone and they're going to say, well, I'm going to drop my prices so low till that person bleeds.
This is not even a hypothetical.
It's actually happening.
It's happening right now.
It's happening right now.
I get phone calls from people who are like, why you charge, you know, I want the same price as them. You must be cutting the deal. I'm like, I'm not cutting anybody deal. The price is the price for everybody. There's no discounts or anything like that. I'm giving anybody one-offs.
Yeah.
This is literally like everybody gets the same price. It's just that they have a different business model where they're trying to run people out of business, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So like, well, not so extreme, but like that's kind of where it's implied on those phone calls, you know.
Yeah, I mean, something from conversations I've had, people are 100%. Yeah, they want to run that person out of town,
right? And so, yeah, and so there's the balance. Like, how much buffer does social equity, or even just the industry, need before we could just have like unlimited licenses?
I don't think we should ever have a license.
Really? What is it? Always just going to be 3 then, or is it like?
I mean,
in 2030. 4 years from now, we'll say, could it be potentially 6 or no?
No, I don't think, because you're just inviting someone to come, and take over the market.
Well, Massachusetts, as small as it looks like on a map, is still quite large.
It is, yeah,
right. But you're like, is your fear that like there's going to be 6 in downtown Boston and Apex and Pure Oasis and
someone
whatever?
Someone could theoretically
just take out them all and they the McDonald's of Boston, Canada.
Yeah, and that's what would happen. Yeah. So, you know, I'd say maybe 4 is okay. But like going to like anything more than that is, because just place one in the major areas. Place one in Springfield, place one in Boston, place one in the Attleboro area, get one in like the Haverhill area. I mean, the thing is, here's the thing. If I was a big company, I 100% want to go to 6.
Right, exactly.
Please, like, let that happen.
Well, so I was going to turn the hypothetical on you. So hypothetically, because you're not in retail or a delivery operator, which is retail, but it's like not a brick and mortar, right?
Yeah.
If you had 3 brick and mortar stores right now and you were profitable and they were fairly spread out and you found this really great store in Haverhill, whatever, you're like, oh, this store needs help. I can bail them out or whatever. I could take over. Maybe Haverhill's not a great example because I have friends in Haverhill. Obviously, this market's cut out. I mean, like, I'm not picking on Haverhill or any Lowell, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But say some metropolitan or some city like area that has like really good foot traffic and whatever, you'd be advocating for 4, 5, 6 at this point because you already you
Well,
profit.
We work with small, large operators. And I'm friends with some of the large operators, and like I can understand why.
Yeah,
they want more, like because again, bigger brand, they may have their own grow. So and now instead of putting product on the wholesale market, they're gonna fall into their store,
right?
Which is the most optimal way because now if I sell wholesale,
Margin.
it's net 30, net 60.
Yeah,
But if I sell directly to the customer, my cost is what it costs to produce.
Yeah,
and I'm selling it.
I'd be super curious because that's, and again, we can run hypotheticals forever. I'm not going to try to dive down that path, but all these things come up because at some point, because I'm not SE or in the town, we're not EE either.
Yeah.
So I'm NBE, but I'm not actually SE.
Yeah.
So what that means to me is that like I'm also excluded from delivery operator license, like all these other things too. So I'm kind of watching from the sidelines a little bit for how this all plays out. Because as a brand, I'm kind of agnostic. I'm kind of just like, I still am on the fence. Like, is it good? Is it not good? Because to my opinion, like I want more stores so I'd sell more products, but I also know that there potentially would be harms to people that I'm friends with too. So I'm like, how do I balance that internally? Because, we do live in a capitalist society.
You used to have bigger stores that buy more products.
Right.
That would be the result.
Well, exactly. But the thing is with those bigger stores, you need capital to scale inside your own store sometimes too. Yeah. So whether it's advertising or wherever you want to call it, to get people to come to these stores or not.
So then what happens becomes a game of who has the capital to get to that scale. And once you get to that scale, if you're at 6 stores, your buying power is you're outrageous.
Yeah. Well, again, we know people who there's different organizations who do have that buying power today.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just like, okay. And then, you're dealing with this kind of like shadier, underground 10%, sure, it's 10%, but like, is the CCC checking the cap tables to see if there's really less than 10%? I've never had to do anything like that because I own 99.7% of the company or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, so I've never had to go through any of those checks. I don't know if the CCC do they look at these things close enough? Because I have heard these crazy stories where like, oh yeah, such and such, he owns like 17 stores in this, whatever.
Yeah. I think they're doing more diligence now. I can't speak to the exact process. I think there's some stuff passed recently that where they can't ask for different documents. I definitely think they should continue to do so people don't abuse that part of the system.
I think they have to because it's like if we're all playing by the same rules, we should be enforced equally. Also,
that's all you're like shadow owners. Like, hey, they own the company. Yeah, or management or service agreements and stuff like that. But
through service agreements and stuff like that, exactly.
It's not control, but it's control.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of positive stories in this market we should focus on. So, but one crazy thing that's happening right now is the repeal side. Mm-hmm. So the repeal process, and there's insider knowledge of like what's actually happening behind the scenes, and I will speak more broadly, hopefully soon, about a lot of this stuff and have like really clear messaging and stuff like that I can even share with other operators about like how to do all these things.
Yeah.
But we're part of groups, trade groups, right? Yeah. But I know all the trade groups are getting together to form kind of an alliance to make sure that we kind of just nip this in the bud, just move on with our lives. Yeah. Because it's just a distraction. At this point, we're doing fine. The sky hasn't fallen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no, like, everything's good. As much as we're picking on the different regulations that could change, this is just what happens with a market.
Exactly.
As the next version of a new market. So like, you hear like some of the faults because we can be hypercritical of ourselves, but like at the end of the day, we will all be banding together to fight this, obviously. Yeah. And kind of just like kill it and squash it and move on with our lives because it is a huge distraction right now. Are there any specific things that you're like come to mind when you think about the repeal side?
It's kind of with the state of the economy today, why would we eliminate jobs for people? Why would we also eliminate tax revenue? It doesn't, cannabis, the sky is not falling. I think there's just kind of I don't know what it is, like a push against cannabis I'm not sure what it is, but they're going to be hurting. If it passes, it's going to hurt a lot of people. Yeah. And it's also going to hurt communities. So at this point, I don't really understand why it's happening. But it's definitely very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing when I look at the hemp bill that passed. It's more of like, hey, you hear that this was pushed by the liquor company because less people are drinking.
Right. So they need another revenue source.
Yeah. And so they want to basically stop people from drinking. They want to stop people from consuming cannabis, which, we can argue that, hey, It's better than drinking, so that people can drink.
Sim can't
So we're gonna eliminate
or drink. Yeah.
the hemp.
So so that's where it gets really, really strange. So a couple of things, just so the audience is all caught up real quick. When they reopened the government, they passed a rule that ultimately, for all intents and purposes, banned hemp products less than 0.3% THC. Instead, they made it less than 0.4 milligrams. 0.4 milligrams, for anyone who doesn't know, it's hard to you can't even grow a plant.
Yeah.
At that point, everything has a little bit of THC in it. You can eliminate it in post-processing, but I'm still not understanding exactly where the 0.4, if it's just on the final end product, which I suspect it is, which means you can process it. You just can't put a product out with more than 0.4 in it. That happened. So that's now has a year timeline. So next November, it'll be gone. At the same time, the repeal stuff was happening. So Massachusetts, potentially adult use getting pulled away. And that's also most likely going to be in November ballot. Yeah, the repeal side, still TBD. Where I'm holding on, we're waiting for the signal from all the trade groups to be able to openly speak more about these things. But those messaging, it's going to be coming, and there's going to be a big fight on our hands come the new year. Yeah. We'll have hopefully all our messaging in line, and we'll go hard at it. But for now, stay tuned, everybody, because this is not to be taken lightly. This is a very serious situation we're going to be facing here. So, with that said, any parting words, any last shout outs or anything like that you want to give?
Parting words? No, I mean, I think if you're not using Your Green Package for third-party transport, you can contact us at logistics@yourgreenpackage.com. One of the few social equity transporters in the state. Just shameless plug. We'll love more business in that area. Also, if you're a wholesale vendor, you're looking to get into the delivery market, we are taking new vendors onto our menu. But I think, listen, I appreciate you inviting me to the podcast, Jason. Obviously I've been a fan of yours for a while. I mean, to talk to people who've been in the space for and you've been 5 years now?
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. I'm 5 years as well. Yeah. We've seen a lot. And so it's always a pleasure, obviously, to work with you, to be here. And I think we just, as an industry, just need to keep fighting the good fight. And
that's what it is.
That's really what this is. And hopefully we don't get banned in November, but I think we fight. I think common sense.
I think common sense will prevail.
Will prevail.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page with that one.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time, Chris. Thank you so much.
No problem.